Now, as I walk everyone through getting no-till farming started, it's important to look at it in stages, and that it actually is a continual process that you're never you never stop developing. So I'm going to focus right now particularly on no-till mulching practices that you would want to use to be successful. And this is the second year into this particular project, and this is 2 years into the mulching practices that I'd like everyone to try out on their own gardens. So this mulch was placed in late fall, early winter to protect the soil that I'm trying to build up over time. And what so essentially, I'm not going to even rake any of this up. I'm just going to plant. I'm just going to throw compost on top of it and then do my planting through this existing mulch, which will break down. Now, this particular mulch is just taken up from the beach. This is salt marsh hay, and it should be noted that if anybody does that, there are some regulatory things to consider. That it's basically only legal to do so if you have permission from the property owner who lives right on the beach where you're collecting the salt marsh hay. And if you are also wading in from the water, it's legal to take anything like seaweed or salt marsh hay or anything like that for your compost. In the same way that it would be okay for you to go shellfishing as long as you have a permit for that. So at any rate, I'm going to show you my next step with how I'm mulching this, because the reason why it's important to have something like salt marsh hay is because it's seedless and you won't have to worry about weeds coming back up. So if you do elect to do another kind of mulch, then just ensure that you're getting a seedless variety and that it's sustainably produced. Before I throw all the compost down for my garden this spring, I just wanted to show you the effectiveness of this method, and I'm actually seeing worms in the garden from before. So this is actually something I've already done. So last year I had mulch down like this, and I threw compost on top of that. And so I'm going to show you the richness that creates. Instead of raking it up, you're leaving it down. And then year after year, you're creating that layer cake that is just completely breaking down and creating that microbial life that you really want for your garden. And you're not interfering with anything. A good way to do this is also a way that you can plant vegetables in here without disturbing that soil structure that we're trying to create, and that is with a post hole digger. This is how I recommend everybody plant their plants in their no-till garden, because when you dig, you're not disturbing around it, you're just disturbing where you're putting the plant, okay? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna dig up maybe a 5-inch core or something, and just show you the quality of the soil that is being developed. Before I started 2 years ago, the quality was terrible here, okay? So I'll just show you really close. Actually, I'm going to go back here. And I can already tell you right now that when I let go of this, it's actually all going to stay together. Ready? So this is a sign that your no-till practices are working. You can dig up a 5-inch core and it's actually staying together. This is exactly what you want, because there's all this microbial life that has built its own infrastructure, its own kind of ecosystem, its own economy, and all of these microscopic organisms are working together to create this really, really healthy soil. And so this is just 2 years into it. And so because it's obviously already working, I'm going to continue doing this, and after I lay the compost down, maybe a 1 or 2 inch layer on top, then I'm just going to put my plants right in there. Now remember, I had left last year's mulch down here before I composted, and you can, you know, there's no trace of that mulch whatsoever. It's completely broken down, and it had provided all of those nutrients that is totally necessary for your vegetable garden to grow as best as it can. So there you go. Ta-da.